Okay, so today we're gonna start with a little warm-up. It's called a brain breakfast. I like to call it that because just like how you need breakfast to wake up yourself in the morning, you need something for your brain so it can wake up. So today our little brain breakfast is what is 25% of 130? So let's break down this problem. What is 25% of 130? We need to find our parts. So the first part, the easiest to identify, is our percent. So this is our percentage. This is going to tell us what we need to change and what we need to multiply. Our second one we want to identify is our whole. So to find our whole is usually attached to the word of. So right here, I have my finger right under of. Of in math means to multiply. So this number that is attached to of is 130. This is our whole. So all that is left, that's missing, the what is, this is going to be our part. This is our unknown. So I'm going to start it off. I'm going to do 25% times, I'm not going to use the X, I'm going to use the other symbol, which is the dot, 130. So I have 25% times 130. Now, can I leave that the way it is? I can't leave a 25. Can I do 25% times 130 like that? I can't, because percent, we need to change it. So when we're dealing with percentages, we got to get rid of that percent sign. We need to change it to a decimal. So, but behind every whole number, there is an invisible decimal. I'm going to put it right there. And I'm going to change it by moving it twice. So once, twice. So now that is 0.25 times 130. Can I do that now? I can. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the black marker off to the side. I'm going to do 130 times 0.25. I'm going to do some long multiplication. Okay? 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry that 1. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. I get 650 for my first line. Second line, got to put a 0 because I'm starting at the 2. 2 times 0 is another 0. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 1 is 2. Oops. Do I need to do that last one because it's 0? No, not really, because everything would end up being 0. So all I need to do now is add that all together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. 6 plus 6 is 12. I'm running out of room. 1 plus 2 is 3. I get 3250. Can I leave it like that? I can't leave it like that. I'm going to have to move my decimal. So right here, I have 1, 2. I need to move my decimal point. 1, 2, which means my what is, my part, my final answer is 32.50. Just like that. And you don't have to add the 0 at the end. That's up to you. You can, you don't have to. So if there's no questions on this one, we're going to do another example. So we need a little bit more brain breakfast to wake us up this morning. Okay. And this one will be a little more difficult. So just like before, it's going to be in a question format. What is 12.5% of 100? Okay. The reason why this one's a little bit more difficult is because we're not dealing with a whole percent, we're dealing with a fraction of a percent. So 12.5%, just like before, I'm going to identify my percent. This is my percentage. I have my number next to of, so that's my whole. And I have what I'm looking for is my part. Okay? So now I have that 12.5%. I'm going to rewrite it 12.5% times, because of means times, 100. Okay? Now, just like before, I need to change my decimal, or I'm sorry, I need to change my percentage into a decimal. It already has a decimal point, so I don't have to add another decimal point. So what I'm going to do is just move it twice, because with percents, you always have to move it twice. So now this guy is 0.125, and I'm multiplying that by 100. Now, I know I said this is a little more difficult. The only reason why it looks difficult is because that percentage has a decimal. In actuality, it's going to work out nicely because we're dealing with 100, but some kids get freaked out when they see the decimal in a percentage. So we're just going to go ahead and multiply that to the side, and I'm going to do 0.125 on top. The reason why I'm going to do that on top is because my 100, multiplying by it actually makes it really nice, and if I multiply it this way, I just need to do one line of multiplication. Okay, so it's pretty nice. So I can't use my 2 zeros, so I'm just going to put them down. But I can use my 1. So 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. And I don't need to do 1 times 0. I know it's 0. Okay? I'm not done. Here I have 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So I need to take my decimal point. I need to move it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So my final answer for my part is actually 12.5. I'm not going to include the extra zeros this time because that would be a little too much. So what is 12.5% of 100? Well, that's just 12.5. Any questions?